Tuition at the University of North Dakota, as well as the other 10 public institutions, has gone up tremendously since 2000. As my colleague would say, Senator Schneider, he graduated from the University of North Dakota in 2002. Since then, tuition has increased 106%. Now, the governor has in his executive budget a $6.5 million appropriation for tuition freeze on the 2-year institutions and a 2.5% cap on the 4-year institutions. To freeze tuition for all the universities, it would be an additional $12.5 million, or roughly $19 million total. North Dakota, as you can see, ranks 27th in the size of debt that students leave college with. It's $22,030. Where we don't do well is the number of students that leave college with debt. Over 71% of all college graduates in the North Dakota universities leave with some form of debt.
On behalf of the students of UND, we support the passage of House Bill 1301 as expressed in the UND Student Senate Resolution SR 1011-07, which is attached on the back page of this written transcript. Tuition increases over the last decade have more than doubled, in which students have carried this burden for the majority of the time. We recognize and thank the 61st Legislative Assembly for the tuition freeze for 2-year institutions and a cap for the 4-year institutions. We view House Bill 1301 as North Dakota's investment in its future by providing an outstanding education that continues to be affordable.
Today, on behalf of the students of North Dakota State University, I stand here in opposition to the passage of House Bill 1301 for the following reasons. Reason number 1, the distribution of funds. Under the provisions of this legislation, the funds appropriated to this tuition freeze would go from the State Treasury to the State Board of Higher Education for the purpose of offsetting any kind of impact not being able to increase tuition may cause. Our first concern with this particular action is a question of how these funds are going to be transferred amongst the schools to offset these expenses. While students like myself are always happy to see a limitation to how much we have to pay for in tuition, we do also understand that if we want to be able to graduate from our institutions and have a good experience, a good educational experience, we need to have the tools in order to make this achievable. We feel that investing in academic facilities such as Ely Hall or the Geosciences Building, investing in additional faculty, placing funds towards deferred maintenance or equity funding would help to ensure greater gains for the institution and for students overall, both in the short term and the long term.